All right, welcome back to season 6 of our show, and today it's pork tenderloin, one of the most tenderest pieces of a pig. I'm going to show you how to cook this up and make it beautiful. Let's show you how to get it done. Okay, so we have 4 beautiful tenderloins, and the first thing we're going to do is get these cut up and seasoned up. So I'm just going to put them all down onto the board. Now this is a very fast trim because there's not a lot of gristle or fat on this meat. So if you look at the loin, look at the side here. There's just a little piece of silver skin over here. So we're just gonna get that out of there. And you can see it right underneath. See how deep that gets? So that piece you want out of here. And it's the only piece on this little piece of loin. So what I do is just get that right off of there. Just like that. Now, a lot of people think tenderloin is loin meat. Now, that's a different cut. That's not tender, that piece of meat. And that piece of meat can dry right out. This piece of meat is more forgiving. It's almost the same piece of meat, or it is the same piece of meat, which lies on a cow. And they call that filet mignon. So what I'm going to do with this one is I'm going to cut this one just like this. This is how we're going to cut these. In nice big pieces like that. And right into the tray we go. Let's look at this one. Some of these guys you'll see a silver skin on, and the other pieces you won't. This one has it right here coming to the end. And just let your knife guide you through. And don't take too much off of this because you don't need to. See that? That's all you need to do. Very simple. Now you can do a lot of things with this cut of meat. You can wrap the entire thing in bacon. Cook it on the grill. It grills up really nice. And it's a fast griller too. It's not a piece of meat that takes a long time to cook. And it's tender as we just cut it, as you can see. See that? Look how fast this goes. So I just nailed out 2 pieces right now. And we'll take this one and just follow the silver skin around. I mean, this is super quick. And this goes great. You could saute this up with onions, peppers, and you could do a lot of things with this. It even fries. Yes, you can fry this piece of meat as well too. So what you would do is just cut it like this, pound it down with a mallet, little meat mallet, and it's really tender, and you can pan fry this in the pan. And it takes you no time. A little breadcrumb on top, nice salad on the side, a little bread, and you got yourself a full-blown meal. All right, so that's it. Just like that. How easy was that? So we're going to get cleaned up here. And when we come back, we're going to show you some of the fixings that we're going to have with this. So stick around. Don't go anywhere. All right, so now that we got that tenderloin cut up, let's show you some of the fixings to go along with this. So these are some of the ingredients we're using today. Now we're making a potato salad. So we got some boiled eggs. I got some onions. I got some peppers because the peppers will go along with some of this pork that we're using. Got some onions here, and we got corn. I'm gonna take this off the cob, and we're gonna figure that out later on because right now I don't have a plan for that, but it's gonna come along. Let's show you how to get this meat seasoned. So right here we got a rub. We got garlic powder, onion powder. Got some paprika in here, a little cumin. There's no salt in here. Now, last night before I went to bed, I lightly salted this meat because I wasn't sure how long it was going to stay in the refrigerator. If you guys don't know how long your meat's going to stay around for, salt it. You'll get an extra 3 days or 2 days out of it if you salt it. And if you feel it's on the urge of going bad, just salt it if you feel like you're not going to get around to using it real quick. All right, so we're going to take some of this rub. I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit on. So I'm going to get a good amount in there. Avocado oil. We're just going to oil this up real good. And now I'm going to start to just rub it around. Just like that. Very fast, very easy way to season. Now you can do a lot of things with this at this stage right now as well. Put a couple of skewers through here, go out on the grill with it. You can go out on the grill with it just like this. They're big enough to turn over. They won't go through your grates because look how big the pieces are. Good size, right? So you don't want to cut this up into little tiny little pieces unless you're going into like a stir fry with it. And then you can cut it up into little pieces, but for those of you guys that grill it, it'll fall through the grates. On most of your grills, about 98% of the grills, it will go right through the grate. So don't do that unless you're going to skewer it up. All right, so we got this nice and done up. Now what we're going to do from here is we're going to cut up some of these veggies. We're going to get everything together to show you the sides. And this meat right here, this is going to chill out in the fridge for about a half hour. This way, by the time I'm finished cutting that up, I can go right to my meat. So we'll meet you right back here. Stick around. Don't go anywhere. All right, along with this dish, I have a favorite corn that I'm going to make. I'm going to show you guys how to make. It's corn with jalapeno, bacon, and red onion. Let's show you how to get this one done. So this dish starts with fresh corn on the cob, bacon, fresh onion, and fresh jalapeno. Nothing out of a can. So if you want to do this right and you want to get maximum flavor out of this, use all the fresh ingredients that we're using today. So here's the corn. I'm just going to show you how to get this off the cob. You got to go down like that. You just follow around. Make sure you don't bust your plate up or anything. And just go around the cob like that. On the other end, just take your knife and just follow through. And now you have all the corn off the cob. Now this looks like a lot of corn, but it's really not, because look at this bowl. By the time I get through all this, I'll probably just fill this bowl up, and that's the amount of corn we have. And it's funny because if you had a bunch of people over and you said, all right, everybody gets one piece of corn each, right? It's a lot of heads to feed right there. But once you take everything off the cob and put it in the bowl, I mean, what are we going to serve with this? Maybe 3-4 people? That's it for all that corn. Pretty crazy. All right, so we got some bacon over here. We're going to cut this up just like this. So here's our bacon. And I cut it in half. And we're just going to put it in strips just like that. And we're going to use all of this because we're going to need all that nice bacony flavor in this corn. We're going to crisp this corn up good, and it's going to have that nice bacon in there. And this is going to be a winner dish right here. All right, so let's get the bacon off to the side. And then we got our red onion. Now you could choose whatever onion you like. I like red onion because it brings out the sweetness in this dish. And this is how you want to cut that up. Let's go like this. And just give them a little fine chop. You want to pretty much make them smaller because the corn is small. So you don't want, see if you look at the corn and look at some of the pieces. So you want to kind of get them down like that, and plus they're going to lose their water and everything's going to get smaller anyway. So what you want to do is just dice them up. So just work with them just like that. That's how you would do that. I'm going to chop these down some more. And then here's our jalapeno. So I'm just going to chop off the ends of that. Get this off to the side. I'm going to de-seed this, so I'm just going to take it down just like that. Take my knife, run it through the sides, and then pull that white part right out of there. That's where all your capsaicin lies. That's the hottest part of the pepper. And if you don't mind the heat, leave it in. All right, I'm going to move this off to the side. I'm going to get to working on this, and when we're done, we'll meet you back here and start firing up the stove. So stick around. Don't go anywhere. All right, we're ready to go onto the stove. We got our corn here, we've got our bacon and our onions. Take a look at this. So here's all that corn. Look what that broke down to. 18 ears of corn just to get enough for about 4 people, 5 people at max, small portions. We got our bacon over here, purple onion or red onion, and we got our jalapeno. We're using a little bit of extra virgin olive oil just to start that bacon off. And then we did our potatoes. So here's our potatoes cut up. always start these off in cold water. So I'm going to start these up now, just so I get a jump start on everything. So cold water, always start them off in cold water with just a touch of salt. You don't want a flat potato or a bland potato, so always salt them just like you would do a pasta. And don't ever put oil in them because they're not going to absorb anything after they're out of there. If you want to season these up afterwards, they're not going to take in the flavor if you oil that water. Just like a pasta, so treat the potatoes the same exact way. Always cold water. All right, onto the stove we go. All right, so we got our bacon on, and we're just starting to get some color on it. And all that oil is starting to release from the bacon. And the bacon is just on its way to start getting crispy. So at that point, in with our onions and the jalapeno. This is going to slow down the bacon from crisping. And we're going to cook our onion now. Just like that. And we're still keeping on a high heat. We're almost wide open on this. Now what I'll do is I'm going to go in with just a splash, just a touch of white wine. That's going to deglaze the bottom of that pan. See it? Everything comes right up off the bottom. Just like that. And I'm going to hit this again. Get my blower on. With just a little bit more. Just so I can get all that up off the bottom. If you look in there, you don't see any oil, do you? Now that oil just didn't disintegrate. You want to bring it out of the bacon. And then once we get up some oil, we're going to put that corn in. We'll meet you right back here. Stick around. Don't go anywhere. All right, now it's time to get our corn in. Do you see the oil coming out? Just get all your corn in. And again, I'm still on pretty much high heat. I'm almost wide open. And we're going to give that a stir. Now this time, this corn is going to release a lot of water. And that's what you want it to do, release the water. But you want it to get through that liquid stage as fast as possible, so you got to keep it on high heat. If you cook this on low heat, what you'll do is you'll start to boil the corn. Water is going to evaporate very slow, and you're going to be stuck with about that much water in the bottom of that pot. So what you want to do is cook it as fast as possible to cook out all that water. And fry up that corn, because that's what we're doing. We're frying the corn and bacon. When we come back here, we'll show you what we're talking about, so stick around. Don't go anywhere. All right, we got our potatoes going, and take a look at this. Now we dropped this down to a medium low heat, and we're just letting it cook down. See all the color coming up out of that? It's got to start to release its cornstarch and tighten up. So total cook time for this is 25 minutes, somewhere around there. Nice and easy. And that's it. Get that corn nice and caramelized as it is. All right, we're going to meet you back here, show you the rest of this meal, so stick around. Don't go anywhere. All right, our corn is done. It's on the stove, staying warm. Potatoes, they're out of the water. Let's show you how to put this together and make a beautiful potato salad. All right, so right here we have our potatoes. Now I want you to take a look at these. Now I boiled these perfectly. And you see they're still holding together and they're not falling apart. So that's how you want to do that. They're fork tender. So I let these cool down. So right now they're very cool. They've been chilling out now for about 30 minutes just sitting on the table. And now we're going to put all of our ingredients in. But We have to be very careful how we put the ingredients in so it doesn't break up these potatoes. Let's show you what we got. So right here we got some eggs, red onion, celery. We got black pepper, mayonnaise. I'm using Duke's today. Relish, that's sweet pickle relish, and we're using a Dijon mustard. So now what we want to do is put this salad together without breaking up anything. So the first thing I'm going to do is get some relish into the bowl here. So what we're looking to do is make our mixture first. There we go. Now I eyeball this out, and I've been doing this for a lot of years, so for me it comes easy. But for the rest of you, you might have a little practice at this a few times before you get it right. All right, so that's a Dijon, and now we're just gonna give it a mix. You see why we're doing this outside? Because we don't want this to break up the potato. So this is almost coming together like a tartar sauce. If I want a little bit more mustard with this and put some vinegar in here, we'd have a tartar sauce, and maybe a little lemon. And that's how you would make a tartar sauce. So we're just gonna spin this. Now I feel I like relish, so I know right off the bat I'm gonna put about half of this jar in, because I like it on the sweet side. We don't want a thick dressing on here. So if you look at it, you want it kind of runny, like that, with this particular type of potato salad, so it can coat very easily. If it's thick, you're gonna just clump everything up, your potato's gonna fall apart, and it's gonna be not a very good show. All right, so there we go. Here's some black pepper. We're gonna add a little black pepper in here. That's cracked black pepper, so you can see how big the corns are in here. We're gonna stir that in there. And a little bit more. And just feel it out. And once you feel you have the right consistency to it and the right taste, I'm gonna taste this. I might go with a little bit more mayo. Let's just shake that in there. I'm gonna put it back after I'm done, so there you go. Stir that up. And there you have it. And at this point, I don't even have to taste this, I know where I'm at. All right, so there we go. So we salted our potatoes. We got the dressing done. Now I'm gonna bring in the potatoes. I have full attention to our potatoes. All right, so here we go. An egg. I'm gonna start to crumble the eggs up first. As you see, I'm not moving these potatoes around, right? I like big chunks of the egg in there. I like to see the egg. So we're going in with about 10 eggs, I believe that was. Sometimes I put more, sometimes I'll go with less, it just depends. But I had a bunch of eggs, I figured I'd use them up. All right, there we go. And now I'm just gonna look around and break up whatever I don't like. Onion, celery. I'm gonna use all that. Just like that. I'm gonna move it around. Last thing, or dressing. So I'm gonna go on top. And I'm gonna use it all up because I pretty much know my ratios. And you're better to go under than over because you can always make up another batch. There it is. All right, get your hands in here. This is a hands-on thing because you don't want to disturb that potato, so just get your hands in there. Just like that. See how the potatoes just holding together? And bring it up from the bottom. Now look at that, you got a beautiful potato salad. Just like that. And look at the consistency on there, running down those potatoes. All right, there you go. I'm gonna clean my hands up. I'm gonna meet you guys back here after I put this in a bowl. Stick around, don't go anywhere. All right, our corn is all done. Salad's inside the fridge chilling out. And now it's time for the meat, the last stop on our train. Let's show you how to get this done. All right, what you're gonna need is a cast iron pan. Now, there's our meat. This is the cast iron. This is lard. So that's how much lard I'm using today. So in case you guys are curious of how much lard we're using that much. So what we'll do is we're gonna saute the meat down. We're gonna pull the meat out of here. Meat's not gonna be finished all the way. We're gonna get these onions, peppers, into that pan, and we're gonna saute those down. Then we're gonna put the meat on top of those peppers and onions in the oven, 425 degrees, and then we're gonna pull it. All right, let's get it done. All right, just when you start to see that smoke coming from the pan, that's when you're going in. And get the meat in there, and don't touch it. Just let it do its thing. Bigger pieces in the middle. Just like that. I'm gonna get all this in at one time. There we go. Little pan holds a lot, doesn't it? All right, there we go. We're gonna brown all the sides. We'll meet you when we're done with that, so stick around, don't go anywhere. All right, so we're just browning these up and turning them around. So that's what you wanna see. Just like that. Get some color on them. But you don't want to finish them off. Just get some color on them, like that. There you go. All right, when we finish this, we're gonna meet you right back here when we're pulling these and get our veggies in, so don't go anywhere. All right, last bit of meat ready to come out of here. So get it all out. The little pieces, I'm trying not to brown that much, but I'm gonna put a little color on there. And at the same time, I'm gonna get all of my vegetables in. Get that meat out. Get our veg in. Just like that. That's the sound you want to hear. Give it a good shake down. When we get these nice and soft, we're gonna get them in the oven, but we're gonna get this meat on top of them, so we'll show you when we're ready. Stick around, don't go anywhere. All right, so at this point, our onions and peppers have cooked down nicely. And there you have it. And they're making a nice sauce in there from all that juice from the vegetables. And the meat was in there as well too. So now we're going back in with our meat. Just like that. And you want to go right on top of the veggie. And all the juice that came out of the meat here, we're going back in with that. This is how we're going to serve it, just like this too, at the table. So 4 1/4 in the oven to finish off the meat. Should be about 10 minutes. You can check it with a thermometer to your doneness. But this will be done at 145. If you go a little bit over on it, doesn't matter. All right, there we go. And here's our juice. All right, 4 1/4 in the oven for about 10-15 minutes until your liking. All right, here we go. We'll meet you back here. Stick around, don't go anywhere. All right, here we are, season 6's chopping block pork tenderloin. Let's show you what we got. Beautiful. You can look at all the vegetables in there. They just kind of milled it out in there, and they made a beautiful sauce. So let's get this off to the side. We got 2 nice serving plates here, and we got this gorgeous potato salad over here we made. Didn't that come out lovely? Now, if you want to garnish some more, I like the black pepper, so you can put a couple of pieces of black pepper on here. It's just going to give it that nice bite. It's almost like a German potato salad, with all those skins on there. Very rustic, beautiful. So the first thing I'll do is get some of that onto the plate. Take a look at that corn, by the way. So we'll just get all those nice potatoes on there. We garnished a little bit with a little parsley on there. And I get a little bit more on this plate. And there we go. And I'm going to add one more extra piece of garnish on there. And there you have it. All right. Time to get into the main. Let's show you this meat. So I think we'll go in with a couple of nice pieces in here and get these onto the plate. Followed by some of these nice fresh peppers. We're just going to go right over top of them. Peppers and onions. Just like that. And how do you go wrong with this one? You cannot. And I think I'll throw a little extra piece of meat on that plate there. It's off to the side. Get a little pepper on him. Now remember I showed you the juice? So don't let that go to waste. This is that nice juice we made in here. It's like a gravy. So just a little bit of that. Sprinkle right on the top of there. And there you have that. That's how you want to serve that. And then we're going to park some corn right on the side of it. And get that right onto the plate. Now doesn't that look beautiful together? And gets a little bit more on there. And this just goes fantastic together. I'm going to go with some more of that corn. Just neaten up that plate a little bit. There we go. And of course, we're going to park a little garnish on that plate as well too. So we'll get a little garnish right in the middle of there. Just like that. And so that corn can share it. There you go. One beautiful pork tenderloin. Not to be confused with pork loin. All right, let's get into it. I'm gonna try that meat. Why not, right? Look at that. Perfectly cooked. This meat, you got a lot of leeway on. So you can go a little bit more extra done on that. And we'll get a pepper in there as well too. That sear on there just brought out all the flavor inside that meat. They call it tenderloin for a reason. That's really, really tender meat. Those vegetables in there with the onions and the peppers, they just really set that meal off. Time to try that corn. That corn is so fresh and creamy and sweet, and that bacon just pulls in right behind it. It just adds that touch of savory in there. Outstanding dish. You guys got to try fresh corn. I mean, that's just phenomenal. Time to get into that potato salad. That potato salad is right down the middle between a German potato salad and a Southern potato salad. It's almost Germany meets Southern. Fantastic. Got to try that. It's creamy, it's rich, it's got the right amount of everything in there. Perfect. All right, we're going to organize and meet you guys right back here, so stick around. Don't go anywhere. All right, and there it is, a beautiful pork tenderloin, not to be mistaken with pork loin. That's a lot more tender and juicier. And we serve that up with some corn, Southern style. Lots of bacon and onion in there, and fried it down. And lard. We finished up with a beautiful Southern potato salad. Skin on, extremely rustic. Hope you guys love this one. This meal packs a punch. As always, we thank you guys for coming. We enjoy having you, as always. Until the next time, gotta get that last Pet Master taste there.